last month on Beyond the Gates, we were up in Pasadena. And this month, we're a little bit closer to home in Mission Viejo. And I wore my special shoes for Mission Viejo.
Oh, all right. You're
Now,
walking.
Are you going to come with us?
Well, absolutely, I'll be there. Pasadena was fabulous, but Mission Viejo is going to be wonderful too. So,
I want to go to some restaurants there.
oh, I love those restaurants on the lake. A beautiful Mission Viejo
Oh, let's
lake.
stop. There's a lake in Mission Viejo?
What?
There's a lake?
Yes, you have a lot of things to discover here, Mr. Bill. Okay.
So if I go to the Heritage House and ask Jeff about the lake, he should know about it.
Oh, I'm sure he will, and all sorts of other good things too.
Will he know about all the good restaurants?
I would hope so.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
And where are you heading?
Well, I'm going to go to, oh, I love libraries. So I'm going to the Mission Viejo Library. It is a unique library, and I can't wait to hear more about it, find out more about it. So
Let's go.
Yes.
Beyond the Gates, let's go.
All right.
And today I have with me Jeff Price. He's the reference librarian here at the Heritage House. And Jeff, thanks very much for coming out on this beautiful morning. I don't mean to put you on the spot. Two quick fun facts about either the Heritage House or Mission Viejo.
Well, Mission Viejo is known to be the first master planned community that was very successful. Built in 1965, started in 1965, and houses started selling in 1966. And another thing that you might know about Mission Viejo is our world famous swimming team, the Nadadors.
That I didn't know.
They've won multiple gold medals in the Olympics and have been national champions for years and years.
Could it be that we're in Southern California and they can swim all the time?
Of course. The weather, of course, is one of the main draws for the Nadadors.
Now, where did the name Mission Viejo come from?
Well, Mission Viejo is literally old mission, and it's the wrong gender. It should be Mission Vieja because mission is female. But the original San Juan Capistrano mission is not where it is currently. There was a mission before that Father Serra established, but then had to abandon. And that's somewhere off of Ortega Highway, the location. They don't know for sure.
Okay.
But then as ranchers came in, as Spaniards came in to set up their ranchos, Mission Vieja became the thing, and then later on it changed to Mission Viejo, and it transferred through many people. And then when the development came, they just kept the name Mission Viejo.
I just noticed when we were in the Heritage House that there were pictures, I guess, of paleontologists that were
right,
where they found bones and they were developing the community.
Right, during the development of the community, as they were excavating the foundations of all the development, they found a lot of bones. So they say it's almost as good as La Brea with some of the materials that they found here.
Where'd they put the bones?
They're in many different locations now, but museums. There's one whale bone that's famous off of Crescenta down in the heart of Mission Viejo. It's a whale skull that they found.
Whales? We're out in the middle of...
well, millions of years ago, of course, this was underwater. So yeah, the archaeological and paleontological developments and discoveries here have changed how people have thought about how that period of time.
Now, the Heritage House, you said, was developed in 2003?
It was originally built in the 80s as a home finding facility. They had a big topographical map in the center. They had all the sales brochures, and it was kind of a marketing scheme because Rancho Santa Margarita is just down the road.
Right.
And as they would drive to go see Rancho Santa Margarita, big signs would say Mission Viejo Home Buying Center.
Okay.
So they would try to grab them before they got to the other communities.
So who was the brainchild of the Heritage House?
The Heritage House, my friend Bob Breton, it was a mayor of Mission Viejo at the time and is currently a member of the Heritage Committee. And it was his idea to convert the Home Buying Center into the Heritage House in 1993.
And now let's find out more about the Heritage House from Bob Breton. Bob, thanks very much for taking your time here this morning. You're the planning commissioner, And are you the brainchild behind the Heritage House?
You could say that, Bill. Back in 1993, when I was the mayor, I realized the importance of creating a heritage committee.
Sure.
In order to preserve the heritage and the history of our wonderful community. And later I was able to convince the city to preserve this home finding center and use it as our home base for the Heritage Committee. And we have used it ever since then in order to invite groups from schools, from Scouts, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts to tour the facility and be able to see artifacts and photos of
the community,
of our history.
Now, you're not open regular hours. If somebody wanted to schedule a tour, what are they going to see?
They call the library and they schedule a tour. And we can meet them any day, meet them here, and we have docents that would meet them and give them a tour of the house.
Let's say you one of the docents, or Jeff would be one of them, or you have whoever's available.
We have an entire committee, a heritage committee that was formed back in the 90s, and they all volunteer to be here. And we're also open regular hours on Saturday, just open to anybody to come from 9 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon.
Now, I notice as soon as you go into the Heritage House, there is this big mural of the ranch era. What was that?
Well, we have different exhibits that we rotate in the Heritage House.
Okay.
The one that we have now is of the Rancho era. Now, this entire area was acquired by Cabrillo back in the 1600s.
Okay, I was going to say 18, but wow, okay.
Claimed for Spain. Mm-hmm. And then it went to Mexico when Mexico achieved its independence in 1821. And Mexico is the country that established ranchos all the way up and down Baja California and Alta California. And these ranchos were given to different landowners as favors. And the ranchos were very, very large.
Yeah.
And then as the politics changed and as the United States moved westward, then the Mexican government fortified its army and had a war with the United States.
Right.
Lost the war, but in the meantime, the first governor of Mexico in 1850, Pio Pico, had already sold a rancho in this area to his brother-in-law, Juan Forster, an Englishman who came here.
So then it became private.
Well, it was John Forster's, yes, private land, and he bought the Rancho Mission Viejo y La Paz. He bought the Rancho Trabuco. Then later he acquired the Rancho San Juan Capistrano and the Rancho Santa Margarita.
So much like there's other parts of California, was there ever a mission here?
Not in this, but well, here?
In this area.
Oh, of course, the San Juan Capistrano mission.
Okay.
We have the San Gabriel mission to the north in the Los Angeles area, the San Juan Capistrano mission, and then other missions to the south. And they were all about 1 day's horseback ride apart from each other. So there were a total of 21 missions.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. So you were talking about a little bit about the history of the area. Do you rotate those kind of things within the Heritage House? That type of information,
yes.
Those displays?
Yes, absolutely. Many times we'll emphasize the artifacts from the prehistoric era, when this entire region was under water and we had sharks and whales and dolphins. We have uncovered those fossils and we show them here, and we show them pictures of other excavations and how to do excavations. First, we have had exhibits here on the indigenous people, how the natives to this area lived and how they cultivated their crops.
Now, what gave you the passion? I mean, you obviously know a lot about this area. I mean, you were mayor at one point. What gave you the passion to just really get into this?
Well, because
as a kid, or is it growing up?
Well, all my life, I think history has been very important to me. I think it's very important to find out to discover our roots, to discover why things are the way they are, and to be able to appreciate the heritage, the legacy that we've been given by our ancestors and what they did to create the beauty that we enjoy today.
So that's your passion behind the Heritage House and almost your mission.
Absolutely. And then the Heritage Committee that I formed also decided to write the history of Mission Viejo, this book, which we have published and sold for 35 years now. Was able to get the United States Olympic Committee in 1984 to host the bicycle road race. So we were proudly the first event in the 1984 Olympics. This book details all of the activities, all of the events, and everything that went into creating community spirit and pride. And it is chock full of all of the facts.
Sure.
From prehistoric area all the way to the present. Now, you have to realize that after Forster and his 3 sons had to get rid of their land because there were many droughts. They had to build, the government required them to build fences. They couldn't build fences that would encompass the entire area. They decided to sell. You see, you have to realize this was a ranch that was 200,000 acres in size, from El Toro all the way to south of Oceanside, including Camp Pendleton. And so they had to sell, and they sold it to James Flood, who was one of the Comstock, he was the Comstock Lode king. And he bought it with O'Neill, with Richard O'Neill, on a handshake. And he made Richard O'Neill, who had experience with cattle, he had him manage the ranch.
When did it become a city and become a development, a suburban area?
Okay. Well, O'Neill later, Flood later subdivided, and so the Floods got the area around Camp Pendleton, and the Baumgartners got the middle, and then the O'Neill got this northern area.
So it's all families.
All in the family. But in 1963, when Richard O'Neill, the grandson of the original Richard O'Neill, when he saw the urban sprawl that was creeping southward from Los Angeles and coming through Orange County, and the random helter-skelter development that was being created, then he thought, well, and the freeway was built, the Interstate 5 freeway was built. He said, it's time for us to start about thinking about selling the land.
And that gets back to what Jeff said initially, is it was one of the original planned communities.
Exactly. Well, what happened is the O'Neills decided to interview different firms that they would sell the first 10,000 acres to, which would be right along the freeway. And they decided upon Donald Bren, because Donald Bren promised that he would create a community that would respect the land and show reverence for the rancho heritage, that he would not destroy that heritage. And so built into this community is a sense of identity, because everywhere you look, we have design features that evoke the rancho heritage. We have the Mission Bell street lights, we've got the special slumpstone walls, we have the archways and the fountains, and it feels like you're still in a ranch.
And you can all appreciate that from coming here to the Heritage House.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Bob, thanks for your time here this morning.
You're very welcome.
And we're hoping to get a lot of people from beyond the gates here in the village to come out and see this place.
Thank you, Bill. It's been my pleasure.
Sure. And now let's go see what Susan's got to say.
The last 2 years have been quite a challenge for people looking for healthy, nutritious meals due to the pandemic. As we all remember, many restaurants were closed. Even our senior centers that used to provide hot meals for lunch, they were drive-by pickup meals, and going to a grocery store to get food was a challenge for many people. But fast forward a bit, and a solution was found to providing healthy meals for seniors. And with us today, we have Kevin Lee, who is part of such an organization. So Kevin, we are so happy to have you with us today.
Susan, thank you for having me here with you today.
Yeah, and we are looking forward to hear more about your story. How did all this start? I mean, what was your driving goal behind making nutritious meals to deliver to seniors? Where did it all start?
Thank you for asking. My wife had been teaching people, friends and families, how to cook healthy. And it all started because our youngest son is on the autistic spectrum. When he was 4 years old and diagnosed on the spectrum, it hit us hard. And we really had to look at a situation and after going through a disbelief and all the emotions of that, come out of it and say, what can we do to cure him? Right. And in that process, we found that through food and other treatments, we were able to support our son in his development. He went from being relatively malnourished, unable to absorb food, to now he's grown up to be 5'10", very healthy, 17-year-old, functioning in high school. And in that process, we learned how to cook nutritious food, that really captures the nutrients. And when the pandemic hit, my wife had been teaching others how to cook healthy. And when asked if she would cook for others, she said it's not something she did. When the pandemic hit, we decided that, why don't we try to put together a menu that was both nutritious and flavorful. And in that process, we made that available. Fortunately, AgeWell asked us, do we prepare Asian food? And the answer was absolutely yes. My wife had grown up in Southeast Asia. I lived in Asia for 15 years, which is where I met my wife. And we started preparing food. And in that process, we started off producing about 20 meals a day for AgeWell for seniors. And that started in July 2020. At the end of the Great Plates program in November, we had become one of the largest meal providers for seniors. We probably had over 2,000 meals a day. And during that entire time, we were probably close to producing over 200,000 meals for seniors. And I would say there's three parts to it. One is food that we made food that we would want to eat ourselves. And we have made before. Second is we started off really looking at quality ingredients, cooking in a way that keeps the nutrients in the food. And lastly, you got to have a little bit of spice, zest in your life. And that's why we call ourselves Zest in a Bowl, we really want to bring the flavors that we've experienced in Asia and in our extensive travel through Europe.
Right. Tell me, why would people want to choose your food in particular?
We're low sodium. We don't want to produce food with high sodium.
Oh, good.
Second is we don't like the additives such as high fructose corn syrup. We basically produce real food.
Well, Kevin, I see you've brought a couple of examples to show us today, some of the popular dishes that you offer. So let's take a look at what we have here.
Okay. On the left here, we produce a pulled pork slider. This is pork that's been oven braised for about 3 to 4 hours. Literally, the meat on the bone is falling off. The meat is just extremely tender. We have our own barbecue sauce that we braise this in. So it is similar to a sloppy Joe, but with real solid pork here, pork shoulder.
No spiciness to it.
It has a tanginess to it, but it's not spicy.
Okay.
So it does, it's barbecue.
All right, I like tangy. Barbecue is tangy. Okay.
Yes. And we serve this with either a baked bean or a coleslaw. We have a more comfort food. This is our red wine Wagyu beef stew with traditional mashed potatoes. We actually use real potatoes.
Real potatoes?
Yes.
Oh,
it's hard to believe.
gosh.
People,
Okay.
It is more work, but we make real food.
It's nutritious. Yep. And I'm just blown away by all of this and your story. You have quite an interesting story, and it's been wonderful hearing about all of this, Kevin. And thank you so much for joining us today. And I wish you all the luck with this business that you have going on. And I'm going to continue this for a couple of weeks, I have a feeling, because it is such very good and nutritious food. So thank you again for being our guest.
Susan, thank you very much for having me today, and thank you for sharing your appreciation of our food. And we really just want to make healthy food that's delicious available for everyone in this community.
Thank you so much. We in Laguna Woods are very fortunate to have so many libraries within fairly close distance. Not only do we have our very own little gem of a library, the Laguna Woods Library, right next to Clubhouse 1, but we also have access to all of the 33 libraries that are part of Orange County Public Library System. You know them, El Toro Library, Laguna Hills, Aliso Viejo, and so on. But did you know that there are other municipal libraries that are not far from us that have amazing collections, a variety of services, and offer wonderful programs? Well, today we're going to be visiting one of those libraries in Mission Viejo. And with me today is Genesis Hansen, the Director of Library and Cultural Services for Mission Viejo. Genesis, it's a wonderful treat to have you with us today.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here, and welcome to the Mission Viejo Library.
Thank you. I am so impressed. It is spectacular.
Yes.
And I'm wondering if you could fill us in on a little bit of the history of this library. How long
Certainly.
has it been here, and what's its story?
Well, this library opened in October of 1997. The Mission Viejo Library used to be a branch of the Orange County Public Library System. It was in a different location, but the city had grown tremendously since the time that the library branch was built. And in the late 90s, mid to late 90s, they found that the size of the building, it just wasn't adequate to the size of the community any longer. And so the city and county looked at multiple different solutions, but ultimately the city decided to leave the county services and establish their own municipal library, build a new facility, and start providing library services to the community.
Oh, what a story. So this library is now about, what, 25 years old almost?
Yes, we'll be celebrating our 25th anniversary in October of this year.
Oh my gosh. And you share this space with the whole area with a police station, with City Hall.
Yes.
Is that right?
So this is part of the Civic Center complex, and we have City Hall just across the parking lot. We have our own Orange County Sheriff's Department, Mission Viejo Police Services have offices here as well.
So this is downtown Mission
Yes.
Viejo, pretty
right
much.
in the heart of the city, absolutely.
Now, another question, the fact that you're this is a municipal library, are people living in other communities, can they get library cards here?
They absolutely can. In fact, that was part of our agreement with the county when we left county services. We are forever free to anybody that lives in Orange County.
Wonderful.
So anyone can come and get a library card, and we welcome people all around the county. And in fact, a number of our users, probably about 40 to 45%, are from neighboring cities.
I see. What a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
That really is. Now, you have not only a wonderful collection of books, of course, but other, well, tell us a little bit about, are there any special collections that you have within the library that you'd like to tell us about?
Sure. We have a lot of wonderful collections. So we have a wonderful local history collection, which collects not just history of the city of Mission Viejo, but Orange County and surrounding areas, and that's really special. We have some genealogy materials, and we're fortunate to have docents from the South Orange County, California Genealogical Society who provide free assistance with doing genealogical research, so we're really fortunate there. We have wonderful kits that people can check out. So we have special storytime kits. We have sensory kits for children with different sensory needs that have very kind of tactile materials in them, as well as special books and materials, all built around a theme. We also, one of our newest additions is space-themed kits with that families can check out, and there's a planet party kit and a sun and moon kit, so they can check out a telescope, some great books on space, sunoculars, binoculars, just some really wonderful tools to explore science and the solar system and stars with their families.
Oh,
so
what a fabulous
really
service. I bet parents love that for their kids.
They've
and
been very
schools
popular.
too.
Yeah, yes, and we offer book club kits as well. So
Oh, really?
we have kits. If a book club chooses one of our books to read, we have a kit with a number of copies of the book books. Some of them will be in large print or audio, as well as the regular print. And we usually try and have digital copies of those materials as well. We provide discussion questions and all kinds of great background materials.
Our book club people are going to love hearing about that. Now, do you have book clubs that meet here? Or do
We
you have...
certainly do, yes. So we have our Thursday Night Thrillers book club, and we have a Brown Bag book club on Fridays that meets at lunchtime. People can bring their lunch and discuss. So those have been very popular.
What fun. What fun. I see people can get their passports.
Yes, that's a very popular service. Yes, it's wonderful. And Tuesday through Saturday, we offer passport appointments. We currently, because of the pandemic, we don't have walk-in hours, but you can make an appointment 5 days a week. And we have evening hours and weekend hours, so it's much more convenient for a lot of people than maybe going to the post office or another location that has limited hours.
I have a question about programs. Do you have author programs, authors visiting, or?
We do. We have a wonderful program series called Writers Present, where we bring a variety of different kinds of authors to the library for lectures, readings, book signings, and those have been hugely popular. We often get hundreds of people. We've been able to get wonderful authors. Alan Alda came. We had Leslie Stahl.
Oh my gosh.
We've had wonderful fiction authors.
Now, I understand you have a very active Friends of the Library group. Maybe you could explain what the Friends of the Library is.
Our Friends of the Library are so wonderful, and they have given over $2 million since the library opened. They run the Friends of the Library bookstore.
Now, these are all volunteers.
These are all volunteers.
All
it is a 100% volunteer organization. They have no paid staff. And they take donations from the public, as well as some of our library discards. They sell them, most through the bookstore, but higher value items are sold on Amazon.com to raise additional money. And then all of those proceeds come back to the library to continue to build our collections and programs and services.
Yes.
And they have really fun programs and services. They help us frequently with our Writers Present program. They sponsor a lot of those and put on special events and meet and greets with the authors. And then they also do fundraisers. One that's coming up is our Purse-Palooza.
A Purse-Palooza?
A Purse-Palooza,
I love
which
that.
is really fun. So people can donate their, gently used purses, and then we sell them. The Friends of the Library have a big sale. We don't auction them; they sell them. They're
what fun.
Incredibly reasonable. It's a great way to get a wonderful deal on, sometimes designer purses, and you can get them for, pennies on the dollar.
Genesis, thank you so much for taking time to fill us in all of this. And I do hope our people at Laguna Woods will come explore this fabulous place.
I hope so too, and they're very welcome to come. We'd love to see them here. Thank you.